Welcome to the September 2023 Disability Partnership Calderdale podcast. In this podcast, we'll be bringing you a mix of news and upcoming events, plus we take a look at what Shibden Park has to offer for wheelchair users. And it's with that visit to Shibden Park that we begin. So we recently visited Shibden Park to have a look at the accessibility and the usability for people in wheelchairs. Shibden Park's just located off the A58, a couple of miles from the centre of Halifax. And the lower end of the park includes a cafe. And this is where we planned a visit, which included a coffee and a walk around the beautiful boating lake there. So what we found we explored the car park, path surfaces, toilets, and how a wheelchair user would get on exploring them. We started the visit in a large pane display car park at the Mearside Centre. This is level and it has a number of disability parking spaces. Straight from these parking spaces, there's a smooth tarmac surface straight into the entrance of the park. This takes you past the very tempting Mearside Cafe and then down a gentle tarmac slope into the park itself. We were looking for a short walk or wheelchair trip suitable for powered or push wheelchairs, and we opted for an anti-clockwise circuit of the boating lake. To help us, we were joined by one of our trustees, Donna, who uses a powered sit-on wheelchair. As I guess many of you know, much of Shibden Park is on a steep hillside, but the pathways around the boating lake and the cafe and lower car park are actually very flat, with a couple of minor slopes at the far end near the boathouse. So we began our walk on the smooth tarmac, as we said, with the lake on our left and the grass slopes leading up to Shibden Hall on our right. The paths on this side of the lake are very wide and smooth, and Donna was able to make very easy progress. On the lake, we spotted lots of wildfowl, including mallards, coots, moorhens, and even a rather wary heron patrolling the shoreline on the far side of the lake. As you approach the far end of the lake, the path moves away from the shore, rises gently and passes some ornamental flower beds before returning to the shoreline at the boathouse. This is at the far end of the lake, and just beyond the boathouse, the surface changes from tarmac to a very fine gravel mix, which is still very smooth, and Donna had no problem negotiating it in her powered wheelchair. So we then got onto the return path, which is on the far side of the lake, and we found it to be surfaced with this very fine gravel for its entire length. It's relatively narrow, but there's plenty of room for two chairs to pass in opposite directions if need be. And much of the return side of the lake is in the shade of the trees, which in summer makes it very pleasant on a hot sunny day. And this side of the lake also gives you good views of the miniature railway, which runs on some weekends and bank holidays. The path eventually leads you back to the Mearside Cafe. And again, more gentle slopes and some excellent surfaces give you easy access to the cafe, which is all on one level. And the cafe inside has an accessible toilet. We had to use our radar key to gain access, but the very helpful cafe staff are always on hand if you don't have one of those, and they'll certainly let you in. Like everything in the cafe, the toilet was immaculately clean. So we visited we finished our visit with the hot drinks and a slice of cake, all of which were excellent, before heading back to the car park again via some very gentle slopes and excellent surfaces. I think we recommend it. It's a good venue, accessible. It gets very busy in the middle of summer, so car parking can be a bit of an issue there, particularly for a midweek visit and a gentle stroll. We found it to be accessible and a good visit, stress-free and with really good facilities. So yeah, highly recommended. The local car park at Shibden, the Mearside Centre and the boating lake for a walk or stroll. And now on to the rest of our news, starting with another visit to a Calderdale park. On September the 28th, the Accessible Calderdale project are running a wheelchair-friendly walk around the beautiful Centrevale Park in Tobberden. It's mainly flat terrain, one slight hill, but it should be accessible for almost anybody. It's open to all disabled people, family members and carers, and they say they welcome everyone on the walk. They're going to provide drinks and snacks, but suggest you bring a picnic along. There are changing places toilets accessible at the start and finish of the walk, which is in Todmorden. For more information on getting there and just confirming a place, please contact the Accessible Calderdale Project on 07596 707 795, and that's on September the 28th, 2023. It's part of the Walk and Ride South Pennines Festival. If you like your wild spaces and getting out into the beautiful countryside of Calderdale, there's good news with a Changing Places toilet coming to Ogden Water this month. Calderdale Council have secured funding through the Changing Places Consortium to install a Changing Places toilet at Ogden Water. And at the time of publication now, in September, work is currently underway to reconfigure the existing disabled toilet to create space to allow for a new disabled toilet and the Changing Places one. The work is expected to be finished by the end of this month, allowing people who need to use a changing bed or hoist or would benefit from extra space for an assistant to be able to use the toilets up at Ogden Water. So that's really good news. Ogden Water's an excellent place to visit for wildlife and just some really good fresh air, and it's only a couple of miles from the centre of Halifax. DEX, who run events and activities for young people with hearing impairments, are running a deaf-friendly samba drumming session on Sunday the 8th of October, 1 till 3 p.m. Located at the Leeds Society for the Deaf and Blind People, Leeds LS9 7DP. Basically, it's going to be samba drumming and buffet food. They, as ever, will help you with your travel planning and costs. And it's open to anyone aged 11 to 30 who is deaf and living in West Yorkshire. To book a place on that, text them on 0787 404 1074. That's 0787 404 1074. Booking deadline for that is the 29th of September. Those who visit our website regularly will have seen a number of events from DEX. And we asked DEX to send us a little bit of information about themselves so we could tell all our readers a little bit more about what DEX do. They call themselves Deaf Experience, DEX for short. They're a charity which campaigns nationally to improve access to education, well-being and quality of life for deaf and hard of hearing young people. Here's what they say about themselves. So they say, we support deaf young people across Yorkshire to meet other young deaf people and to share their experiences. We welcome young people with any level of deafness and all communication methods. We hold lots of events where deaf young people can have fun, learn something new and meet others. We have two different groups, the DEX Deaf Youth Hub, which is for 11 to 17-year-olds, and the DEX Deaf Youth Council, which is open to 17 to 30-year-olds. Interpreters are at all events to help everyone to chat and make friends. We also offer a one-to-one service and advocacy support with lots of life issues like money, budgeting, housing, employment and personal relationships. So if you want to find out more about DEX, their website is dex, that's dex.org.uk. They also have a Facebook group called Deaf Experience. They're on Instagram. Their handle there is Deaf Experience. On Twitter, they're Deaf Experience 1, Snapchat, Deaf Experience, and they also have a YouTube channel, which is Deaf Experience Limited. So yeah, catch up with Dex. You'll see events from them a couple of times a month on our website, and they run lots of stuff in West Yorkshire. We've had them into one of our open meetings just to talk about themselves. They're an excellent group doing a great job. So yeah, spread the word about Dex if you can. Halifax bus station is set to reopen in the next few weeks. The building work there has been going on for well over a year, and we were actually given a opportunity to have a look around the new facilities in early September. The bus station is now almost entirely enclosed, and it looks not dissimilar inside to the Huddersfield bus station, which I'm sure many of you will be familiar with individual bays for each of the bus arrivals. From an accessibility point of view, there are very few steps. A lot of the gradients are very minor there. The old bus station was on quite a steeply sloping site, and they've reconfigured it so that the main access to the buses is across the slope wherever possible, rather than up and down it. And they've also reviewed accessibility into the centre of Halifax. So there's a new passageway through to the wool shops area, and also some gently sloping approaches from above the bus station as well. So it looks fairly good. There's a changing places toilet there, and two other toilets that are controlled by radar key and are accessible for almost all wheelchairs. It will be permanently staffed. And we're expecting that to open in the next few weeks, probably October, but we'll keep you updated on that on our website, where you can also find pictures of the new bus station. So good news for everybody who likes to get into the centre of town. I think it's a much upgraded facility compared with the previous one. While it's not exactly perfect from an accessibility point of view, it is a big step forward, considering the challenges of delivering that on a very sloping site, with also some planning restrictions based on some old buildings there which can't be converted. So good news on the bus front there. Citizens Advice offer a really useful service in the Halifax area, and now their advice is also available in local branches of the Yorkshire Building Society. So a partnership between Citizen Advice and Yorkshire Building Society is making advice available to more people in our area. The partnership sees Citizens Advice advisors holding free, impartial and confidential appointments in private meeting rooms at selected high street branches of the Yorkshire Building Society, and these include Halifax and Huddersfield. So to find out their opening hours and to book a session, you need to visit the Yorkshire Building Society website, and that's www.ybs.co.uk, and then if you put /citizens-advice, that'll take you there. So that's www.ybs.co.uk /citizens-advice. And you don't need to be Yorkshire Building Society customer to use this service. Now, West Yorkshire Trading Standards have been in touch with us with some advice on spotting and reporting rogue traders. Rogue traders target older and more vulnerable people with offers of services and products that are bogus, overpriced, or both. So they've supplied us some key indications that could help you spot that you're dealing with a rogue trader. So they tend to turn up at your door unannounced. They're offering a bogus reason to be at the property on your doorstep. They can't provide genuine ID. They have little or no paperwork. And they often use high-pressure sales tactics or intimidation, so trying to get a fast sale. If you encounter what you think is rogue trading, you can report your concerns to West Yorkshire Trading Standards, and you can call them on 0808 223 1133. That's West Yorkshire Trading Standards, and they're on 0808 223 1133. And it's a good opportunity for you to keep an eye out for vulnerable people you know, who are often repeat victims of rogue traders. They're being targeted by telephone, mail or doorstep calls, and they generally offer things that are just too good to be true. So, for yourselves and for any vulnerable people you know, West Yorkshire Trading Standards are very happy to take a call from you and offer advice and support and try and get these people off the streets. So thanks for joining us for this Disability Partnership Calderdale podcast. We've enjoyed your company. We hope you enjoyed it. As ever, there's a lot more news and events and activities available on our website. That's disabilitypartnershipcalderdale.org. We're updating that on pretty much a daily basis, and we've got a presence on Facebook and Twitter as well. And we can also recommend you sign up for our email newsletter. We do a weekly email newsletter and the sign up link for that is on the homepage of our website, and that's completely free. So you head over to disabilitypartnershipcalderdale.org for more news and to sign up for our newsletter. Thanks again for your company, and we'll see you